Greetings, dear Virgos. This one's for you. This is from Tarot Lumination. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to do this for you and with you. Okay? That's you. Okay? This is Tarot Lumination. This is your June 2019 miniature generic love and relationship report. If you've been here before, you know the routine. I'm just going to repeat a few things for newbies. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if each one is different. Get help if you don't know what that means. Okay? Next, we're going to be using the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread. It's on the understanding that there is you, Virgo, and a significant other, and a third entity called the relationship itself. The Crucible is a bucket, bowl type structure used in laboratories to withstand incredibly intense alchemical reactions, okay? And which is basically what happens inside human relationships. So the question is, what is the nature of your crucible? Are you aware that you even own a crucible? Okay? Cards are well shuffled in advance. I'm going to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals, but we are going to have an oracle at the end. There you go. How about that? Before we do it, I just want to show you a couple of things. This is your Virgo Astro Doodle for the month. Ta-da! Don't be scared, okay? Basically, we're dealing with a couple of things. One, here, the Pisces moon. This is a fleeting thing, but it will bring a moment of awakening and awareness. Also, we have Neptune in Pisces here, okay? Why didn't I just put it in? Jeepers, man, it's hugely important for you, but in a very deep soul, profound way. Neptune in Pisces, actually, it's more right here. Let's put it right there, okay? Neptune in Pisces is right there, and there will be a moment where the moon is in Pisces too. So that will be kind of a light bulb moment for you for the month, okay? Around the 24th, 23rd, okay? Anyway, excuse me, I'm not going to go into all the details there. I use these in personal readings, okay? But I'm just sharing a couple of things. Neptune in Pisces has been there a long time, okay? So if you're in a long-term quandary about love and relationships, especially the most important one-on-ones like marriages, business partners, spouses of kinds, children, parents, whatever it is, really important one-on-one relationships. It's very easy to be deluded, lost, confused. It's very easy to be very deeply in love, very, very loving, and to be very exposed to love at the highest frequencies, but also the absence of love can be like almost like devastating and confusing, like the slow dissolution, the slow, like a sand painting. Like when things happen in like a really important relationship here, it's like you think you've got this, and then it kind of turns into that. And like, well, wait a minute, what just happened? Well, it's almost like the whole life is like a sand painting. The whole of our existence is like a sand painting. But you might be feeling it vividly in relationship, okay? Also over here, we've got this heavy-duty Capricorn energy with Pluto and Saturn still lingering there. It's going to be there for a year or two, 2 or 3 years with Pluto, at least 3 or 4. So that is profoundly, grinding away through your place of true love, okay? This is very slow. This is very slow. The rest of it's much quicker, okay? I'm going to focus, it's almost, we could focus on the quickie things. I guess the real quick thing here is the Gemini energy, the Sagittarius energy, Gemini new moon, the 3rd, the full moon on the 17th. That's technically a hard square for you when it hits, okay? See this and how it impacts here? I'm not going to write it in because I don't want to mess up the chart, even though it's kind of a mess already, okay? So the full moon especially could be quite stressful for you. So I'm going to go back to those dates. The thing for you to watch out during the month especially is the new moon in Gemini on the 3rd and the full moon on the 17th. Be very, very aware. Stay very aware at those times, okay? Everything else is kind of like just having to muddle through. Excuse me. All right. Let's just get to it. Cards are already well shuffled in advance. we're going to dive right in. Please ignore that. That's what I do. I don't really do jumpers and flyers as though they're like amazing secret messages. Invite your invisible friends, by the way. They're all around you, but they're not going to interfere with your decision-making processes or how you conduct your life. But they would be more than happy to help, but they respond to invitations, okay? You can't take that stuff for granted. A lot of people do. And then when things go belly up, they wonder like what went wrong, and they blame it on angels and the heavens and everything and your gods and your leaders or whatever. But ultimately, you got to own it. It's your life. You got to own it. And your angels and guardians and loved ones from the invisible friends from the great beyond, they're out there. They want you to be happy. They're doing everything they can. They will do everything that they can to help. What are you radiating over here? Okay? Think of yourself like a smartphone, transmitting and receiving energy. Singles, if you want, you can watch this, but you got to allow for the laws of attraction in action, okay? And then this would be the energy of a potential other. So there's you, Virgo. Here's a significant other, deep inside of you, deep inside of the other, and at the core, the relationship itself. So can you see the crucible here? This is the bowl structure. This is the thing that you guys own, whether you like it or know it or not. If you're really conscious, then you would know this and you would do everything through the relationship like this, as opposed to like this. Okay? Which is how 90% of people operate, obviously. But not here at Tarot Lumination. No. We're beyond that. We're above that. Okay, so over here, what is being nurtured and fostered? What are you growing? Think of this as almost like a potted plant. And it is constantly growing. What is growing here? What is growing out of this thing that you guys own? Well, it's not even a couple's reading. What that you own, the relationship that you own, Virgo, with a significant other. We're going to look at the weather here, okay? Planets, environment, home, family, workplace, your town, whatever it is. You've got the moon. So to me, this doesn't surprise me at all. Let's just say this is very much closely related to the new moon and the full moon, okay? The new moon on the 3rd, the full moon on the 17th. It might shake, rattle, and roll your life, okay? So please be aware of that if you're not already. Just please allow for that. You know, I'm not a professional astrologer, but I like to mix it in like a little bit of spice and extra goodies, ingredients to add more texture and flavor and entertainment to the reading, okay? What are you radiating over here? King of Wands. So it looks to me like you're coming into the month like already forewarned, forearmed, ready for battle, ready, like bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. I'm being the most ultimate Virgo I can be. I can handle this. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. I've been dealing with all those stressors that Tarot Lumination's been talking about for a long time. Believe me, I've seen it. I've seen it from every angle, like, aha, the deception. Oh, the betrayal, the lies, the deceit. Oh, the beautiful romantic stuff that is actually a power play. Whatever it is, I've seen it all. But that's not going to break me. I'm still hanging in. I'm still strong. I'm still amazing. I'm still powerful. I'm still in my integrity. I'm still being my most awesome self. In fact, I am like a hero, frankly. So there. Oops. I'm blowing the stage to pieces. Blam. All right, let's have a look. What about the other? It's a lot of power. Okay, Virgo. Whoa. The Ace of Wands. Oh my gosh. Maybe you guys are inspiring yourselves, inspiring each other. Maybe you are inspiring the significant other, and maybe a significant other is like sparking you and inspiring you. Like, you know, sometimes that happens through stressors. Like, you know how when people reach these stress points, they kind of go, you know what? We need to jump in the sack. We need to do something radical, passionate, exciting, and to like, you know, gosh, I don't want to, I have to be very careful with community guidelines. What I'm feeling here is that there's a very passionate thing going on. Let me just show you. Where is it? Okay, over here. There's Mars in Cancer over here opposing all of this Pluto. When you have a Mars-Pluto opposition, that can be extremely volatile. It can stimulate the passions, so to speak, to almost extreme levels. And what I'm feeling is like, you know how people build up in relationships and they suppress the passion, the romance, the love, the desire to connect intimately, because, you know, sometimes it's really inconvenient, because a lot of times what happens when people make love, it can actually be very transformative. In other words, there's at that very, very, very moment in time when you completely dissolve into the other person and the other person completely dissolves into you, and then you come out the other side. That's transformation. That's transformational energy healing. That's the healing power of love in action through the physicality of love and passion and relationship. And in certain relationships, the intimacy, the passion and the intimacy can be a very, very powerful tool of healing, self-healing, healing for you, healing for the other healing for you, you healing the other, and so on through the process of intimacy. Okay, Virgo? It might make you squeamish at times, but, you know, it still happens, okay? So the Ace of Wands over here, my feeling is that there's a strong desire in them for, like, optimizing, making the very, very, very best of the situation. And it might, you know, how certain things are catalyzed through stress. Let's just say that you, Virgo, are in a situation where the stress levels are building up, they're building up, they're building up, and you're living through them in the lunar cycles, okay? Because we just talked about that. And what happens, it triggers these really primal, primitive animal energies that can only be expressed in certain ways. One animal with another animal, let's get it on. And on the understanding that, you know, it's almost like magnetism, like, oh, did you get the pizza? Like, oh, okay. I still got to do my college homework. Oh, okay, fine. Have you, I need to stay late at work. Okay, well, I can take advantage of that because I got so much to do anyway. Like, did you do the pizza to take care of the kids, or am I supposed to take the minivan in for a tune-up or whatever? I don't know. Oh, wow, what just happened? Okay, we had a nooner in the kitchen. Okay. I am blushing right now. Thank you very much. That was very exciting. That's transformational energy healing in its full expression. New starts and new beginnings, and like feeling that it's almost like it's like you're feeding off each other. The energies of passion, the radiance, the desire to be romantic, more loving, more and more loving, more and more being loved. And sometimes, like, it literally happens almost like at a very animalistic soul level, but it comes up and it bubbles up to the surface where it actually happens body to body, person to person, okay? Those kind of things that happen at the very depths of Pluto energy, okay? Let's get serious here, people. See Pluto over there, Saturn over there in your 5th house of true romance, passion, and let's just say it, getting it on over here. It can be happening at a very, very, very profound, deep soul level, okay? And Pluto is the energy of vibrational energy healing. It is the energy of deep soul transformation, and there's no going back. It changes you, okay? And that's what I think is going on here, and you're with someone who understands that and is okay with that, okay? As freakish and disturbing and disorienting as it may be, you know, like people sometimes are very, very, very resistant to those moments of passion because it's like we lose control of ourselves. We like our body, your body loses control of itself, their body loses control of itself, and you become this one thing that's welded together like an arc welder. When you have a climax, when people climax in these kind of situations. Okay, let's have a look. What are you radiating deep inside? King of Coins. Okay, so to me, this looks like really strong energy that you're trying to make the very, very, very best of the planets and your environment and your situation right now, no matter how scary it is, and that you, in your Virgo, like being really super, super optimized right now, you're doing everything you can to maintain your integrity, your, let's say, your mission, your passion, your, how am I going to describe that here? Okay. Okay, look at the full moon here. This is the full moon dynamic. Home and career and destiny. Family, your place of sleeping, security, really, really deep, profound soul connection, deep heart soul connection with another. And how does that translate into the outside world? So my feeling is that a lot of this is like, this is potentially very stressful. This is potentially extremely stressful. This is potentially extremely stressful. But it looks to me like it's actually bringing out the best in you. Like you're responding extremely well to the stressors. And like the only way to release the stress from the stressors is to do what we were just talking about. Okay? And that's happening on, it's like, to me, it looks like manifesting. This is the King of Coins energy, where there would be about the manifestation of solid, viable, valuable reality. It is literally the manifesting of wealth. But in a love relationship, we're talking about tokens. Think of it as assets of wealth, like growing love. It's like growing wealth in love and relationship through physical manifestation. And sometimes one of the most powerful ways to do that is through the bond of love, the bond of physical love, okay? And doing it in a very, very, let's say, profound, noble, respectable, loving way. Okay, there's no actual cup cards here, but it's like the intentions are very good. The integrity is very good here. And it looks like they might be getting off on that and enjoying that over here. What about deep inside? Okay, the Five of Wands. To me, it looks like they're responding in such a way that it's bringing out the best in them as well. They might be deeply rattled. You know, sometimes like, you know, in the mating game that happens with animals, it's extremely profound. It's at the very, very, very depths of our DNA. You just have to watch some of those nature programs about how animals reproduce, how mammals especially reproduce, and what they do, like the mating dances that they do with each other, themselves and each other, and how they have to fluff their feathers, and how the other has to respond and fluff their feathers and do whatever they do. Like in some of those bird mating videos on YouTube and things like that, the male has to do astronomical amounts of showing off and proving themselves in order for the female to get turned on enough to the point where they can actually do it. I'm not saying that's the universal story for all Virgos. All I'm suggesting here is that this energy over here in you, Virgo, it looks like it's really good and strong and wholesome. And all the stressors that we talked about are actually bringing out the best in you, which becomes a turn on for a significant other. New starts, new beginnings here for a significant other. And it takes them deep into the soul of themselves, like the battle that they have to deal with in themselves that needs to be resolved, that can only be resolved through the process of biological mating. Okay? We talk about it loosely. We intimate, we separate. We intimate, we separate. If you really want to get into it, you can, you know, do personal readings and things like that. But on the show, on the generic things, I can't really go into much more detail here. But it looks like this is the energy of passion and integrity at the highest levels. And it's being well received by a significant other. I'm not necessarily saying they know what to do with it, because overall, it looks like you actually might be freaking yourself out, okay, with what's happening here. It's certainly in some ways freaking them out, but it looks like it's the energy almost like it's like over here, like you can't stop this happening. This is just raw, physical, raw biology. Animals, like the energy of raw animals just doing what they do, okay? Let's have a look at the core here. The Queen of Wands. Oh my gosh. So it looks like this looks like a positive energy feedback loop where the energy of passion and love that would, like love manifested, love maintained, love inspired, is actually happening in such a way where the relationship is almost like a furnace, like, you know, love breeds love. And then when you come in with this level of integrity and that there's a response and it creates that fire, that passion, then that actually acts like a fuel itself to grow the relationship. So the relationship becomes this very fertile, let's say, incubator for love breeding love. Okay? And that happens sometimes, like especially when you have a loving couple and they decide to have children, or they want to reproduce and things like that. And it's an incredibly powerful biological thing. So obviously it goes wrong many times. A lot of times those things happen by accident, or they come in with well-intended, purposes. But if you're not really, let's say, solid in yourself, it can be very hard to actually become a parent and do that effectively. But sometimes it works to the point where love breeds love. You actually realize, oh my God, we have created something. Like whatever it is you guys are doing, however it is you're doing it, it's like this furnace. To me, it's like this furnace of love that is creating like the alchemical reaction that leads to like richness, the blossoming and fruitfulness and beauty and wonder, no matter what this card is, okay? It's a beautiful thing. Okay, the world. Whoa. To me, it looks like you're literally creating something, manifesting from the raw material of nature, where you, Virgo, and a significant other, however you're doing it, even if you're in a conflicted relationship, there's something really powerful going on here that is actually, even though there's no death card here, there's no tower card here, it looks like what's actually happening is the alchemical reaction where it, like the passion aspect that we talked about, actually, it's kind of like fuel, like certain relationships. In a lot of relationships, there's the romantic and physical aspect, as well as the cerebral and like the three-dimensional aspects of like, stability, home, family, all that stuff. But there's also the passion and the intimacy and the closeness. And there's also the creative fertility of like you're creating life here. That's how we create new life. And so what's happening here, it looks like, to me, looks like a culmination through stress. You know how it can be, the actual act of lovemaking can be extremely healthy for the body, but it's also in some ways a very demanding thing on the body. And that's what I think is happening here. I think there's something, see the Mars-Pluto aspect, that's very, let's say volatile. It could easily be translated into something very passionate here. And you use that as fuel, as rocket fuel to light up and, let's say, stimulate the relationship to further growth, where you bring out, okay, with the World card here, I'm going to go back to this, where you bring out a culmination and a full realization of what it actually means to be in love, what it means to be in a relationship at the very most profound, primal, physical, animal level, and also at the most divine, loving, universal love kind of level. And you're covering the full spectrum, and it's freaky and it's scary when you look at your life and relationship as, just animals connecting and do what they have to do to stay alive. And at the very high-end, super high-end spiritual perspective as well. And you're getting a taste of it and experience of it from the very depths, okay? And so it comes into full culmination, especially I'm thinking over here at the full moon around the 17th. You might understand what this world card means at that time. Like, oh my gosh, there's life before and life after. If we talk about, go back to the analogy of the climax, there's all your life before that moment of climax. At the moment of climax, your whole mind, body, heart, and soul dissolves into the other, and the whole body, mind, heart, and soul of them dissolves into the other, into one thing. And everything that you knew before that moment in time is now gone, and everything new is going to become apparent. It's almost like rebirth, regeneration, growth. That's what lovemaking does. You actually create new life, okay? I'm not telling everybody to go out there and get pregnant. All I'm suggesting is the fertility of the relationship here and the potential here, no matter how scary and disturbing it might be. Looks like you're doing a pretty good job of handling it, at least as best you can. All right, Virgo? I am going to pull an oracle, okay? I promised that I would. I've done it with the others, so I'm going to do it with you. This will hopefully add a little bit of flavor, a bit of a nuance, which might give you a better perspective. Remember to watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if they're all different. And then reinterpret all of this to suit yourself. In case I went overboard in one way or another, I'm going to call out the cards in a moment. I'm going to say stop, and that's going to be your card. Stop. That's your card. Pay attention to the red flags, okay? I think you're going to see that anyway. Like, let's just say you guys or the situation or you or the relationship gets into that point where we talk about it like we intimate, we separate, we intimate, we separate. What I'm sensing here is when you get to this point where you truly intimate, where you become one thing, at that moment, you're fully integrated, and then you separate, just like what happens when people, when they are in the throes of passion. You can feel it in the depths and the guts of your soul, like the red flags and the warning signs, and simultaneously all the wonders, okay? So I think over here, this card is talking about, before I even read the book, about whatever warning signs that you need to know about that get exposed to you in the passion of this relationship. Pay attention to them. They need to be understood. You can't sweep them under the carpet because it would be so easy to do that and to neglect them with all of this Neptune energy over here in your 7th house. Okay, so be very, very aware. It's very important, extremely important to pay attention to any red flags. Let's have a look. It says here, the romance angels sent you this card to help you notice the unhealthy or disconcerting parts of your relationship. If you are swept up in a new romance, this card serves as a cautionary warning. Pay attention to your feelings and impressions with regard to your new suitor. Don't allow emotion to blind you to characteristics or habits that won't work for you in a relationship, okay? A red flag is a sign that something is off. It can include anything like an indication of dishonesty, disrespect, flirtatiousness with others, substance abuse, lack of integrity. While your new love interest may treat you wonderfully well in the beginning of your relationship, it's vital that you watch how he or she treats other people. Someone's basic character is revealed by the way in which he or she talks and acts with other people. For example, restaurant staff, valet parking attendants, and other miscellaneous individuals that we often take for granted. How does that other person treat them? If you are in an existing relationship, these red flags may be signaling a need for an honest mutual discussion, or in fact, couples counseling. Well, you're at the right place, Virgo. This card doesn't necessarily guide you to leave a relationship. Red flags can be markers along a path of healing. The romance angels will guide you to take steps that are healthy for everyone involved. So do follow your intuition. Every relationship has red flags and issues, okay? Every single one, okay? You just have to pay attention so that they don't own the relationship and you don't let them own the relationship, okay? We're all here to love and be loved, and we can learn so much in a loving relationship. Thank you very much, Virgo. I hope you get something out of this. Like, subscribe, comment. I love it all. Become a member. Check out the links below, okay? All the best in June. You can do it. I mean, look at you. Awesome, okay? You got this.